ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the late night messed up sleep schedule edition of Assemble. My name is High Ruler, and today we have a few things to talk about. And, we have the Black Panther leak to talk about. We have the stream to talk about. We have some things that we need to talk about. So, it is currently 12:41. I have work at 6 a.m. My sleep schedule is shot. So let's get into this and let's have some fun. So, where do we want to start? Let's start with the Black Panther leak. All right. So, first and foremost, if you guys are not wanting to see Black Panther, I would highly suggest you pause the video, skip a little bit forward, and I'll put the time in the description below if you want to skip the leak. But I don't want to spoil anything for people who do not want to be spoiled. This is for people who like leaks, want to talk about leaks. So pause the video, description, time forward. All right, I'll see you guys after the leak is done. For the people who do want to see leaks, let's open it up and see what we got. So this is the leak for Black Panther. So this is the tactical kind of gear for Black Panther. And where do we begin with this, guys? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't necessarily like it. I don't necessarily hate it. It's not something I feel strongly one way about or another. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My impression of Black Panther from obviously the comics and cartoons or whatever was a very smooth kind of suit, and obviously the MCU kind of changed that a bit, added some textures and some other things on it, and this right here kind of takes it another step away from that design, right? I believe there's what costume is this based off of? I'm not going to remember it now, but if you guys want to put it down in the comments below, there is like a Black Panther costume that is him kind of in more a tactical like attire. And I think this is just their attempt at kind of creating their own version of it. What kind of stands out to me is the color. Like the color right there. I'm just like, why? I can live with most of this. Like the shoulder like is weird, like how that sticks out. I really, the more I think about it, I like the chest piece. The chest piece with the Black Panther insignia in the middle. It reminds me. It's funny. It's funny that I'm going to mention this. This whole chest piece reminds me a little bit of like a Mandalorian armor. I just get Mandalorian vibes when I look at this. But the chest piece with the insignia in the middle is pretty cool. The mask. This right here, I don't know if I vibe with this. I'd like to see what this is, kind of more head on. Is this ridges? Is this like something that pops out in the mask? Is this just a design? It looks like it's a diamond right here, so it starts like right here and it's a diamond. Be interesting to see what exactly how this looks, but I don't mind this. Looks like the gauntlets are kind of ridges down below. Can we open this up a little more? There we go. So it looks like the gauntlet have little ridges. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I don't really like the buckles. The buckles are just like whatever to me, right? It does feel like a Captain America outfit, to a degree. It wasn't my first thought of a Black Panther outfit. It definitely takes a very different twist on it, and maybe that's what they want. When we look at all these characters, some of them are very different from what we remember or what we know. So, I mean, this still follows in the same vein. And, I mean, I think the thing is, what is that buckle? Interesting. Okay, hold on. So, I think the thing is, this costume's not too bad because ideally there's other costumes that we can switch to, right? So this may be the one he shows up in. This is the introductory costume. But as long as there's others, through a challenge card or through patterns or, even through the store that we can switch to a more classic Black Panther style, I think this is fine. I'm sure there's lots of you guys who actually like this, and that's totally cool. Like I said, one way or another, it doesn't really grab me. It's not something I'm gonna sit here and tell you guys I hate. It's not something I'm also gonna sit here and tell you guys I like. I think one of the things is I just need to see it in game. You know, if I see this in game and I'm like, yeah, okay, like, all right, like, I'll totally come back and be like, guys, listen, the skin, not bad, but it could totally look bad in the game, but we won't really know. I mean, until I guess like a gameplay trailer or whatever else, like more leaks or whatever. So, um, yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys enjoy it or not. Enjoy this kind of look for Black Panther. Um, I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air. I could go either way. So I just wanted to show you guys that, talk about it a little bit because I know that's like the biggest thing going around right now. And it definitely intrigues me a little bit, and I'm definitely more intrigued about the story for Wakanda and everything because if this is like his look, like have they been fighting wars or battles? Are they still fighting AIM like off screen? Like, obviously when you're dressed in like tactical gear, you're fighting, So I'm interested to see what kind of backstory they give and kind of how everything else is shifted around ever since AIM became like a major player in the world. So I think there's a big story to tell here, and I think the armor represents a little bit of that story. So, all right. I keep saying all right, but it's my transition word. I think I just got to embrace it now. So, all right. So that is Black Panther for Marvel's Avengers. All right. So let's close that up. So the next thing I really wanted to talk about was the live stream that happened on Friday. So, right off the rip, I'm going to say that these live streams are good. Obviously it puts Phil and it puts Andy in front of the community. It puts some, obviously, they've done live streams before, war tables, whatever else. But I think when the game is not in a good state, I think it's good that you kind of put yourself in front of your community a little bit, right? You're going to take a lashing here and there. But for the most part, I think it's a good way to kind of generate some goodwill with the more hardcore fans, right? I don't think many casual fans on a Friday are going to be like, oh my God, there's a development stream, there's a dev stream. Oh my God, I got to go right to it, right? This is for those, those hardcore fans that are up to date on everything, that are watching videos, that are watching streams, But I think it's good. I think if the goal of the streams are to kind of get in front of the community, answer some questions, have some fun, kind of build up some of that goodwill. And the one thing I'll say about Phil is you put Phil in front of a camera and you ask him some questions, he's going to be quite honest with you guys. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I do remember there was some people who had some glitches and stuff. He's like, listen, I'll be honest with you, like, there's just not a lot that can be done about that specific glitch right now. We're working on it. Like, and I think a little bit of that honesty and that little bit of like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to level with you. I think that does go a long way, even if it's not the answer that someone wants. I think definitely, saying it on camera in front of your community is a little different than typing up a Reddit post, talking on Discord. Like, it's a more human kind of element. And I think the more they do stuff like that, the more people are going to be like, okay, it's totally cool. Like, it sucks. I get it. But, thank you for at least answering the question. Thank you for giving me some honesty. Like, a little bit of the human element goes a long way. And I think these streams are a good way to kind of get that out there to the community. So I'd like to see more of them. I'd like to see, different people come on, maybe do more developers. It doesn't have to just be two. Give me 3, give me 4, right? The game's a 4-player co-op game. Give me 4 people from Crystal Dynamics if you can, right? Let's actually get like, some good conversation flowing. Because I think one of the things is like they're still kind of new to the streams, but I think over time once they get more comfortable and they kind of get a routine in place, and I definitely think the streams could be a huge net benefit to the community at large. So yeah, I definitely like to see them more. But with that being said, let's kind of talk about the technical elements of the stream first and foremost. Um, so I want to start off by saying the mic levels were okay. Okay, so we all know the video with Scott kind of sucked. The mic was terrible, and we all know that I struggle with audio. So I think I'm in a unique position to comment on audio and to comment on everything to do with that. So the mic levels were okay. The audio levels, sometimes the game was a little loud, but Phil did a good job at kind of balancing it and kind of making sure everything was good. Nothing too major in terms of that. Everything seemed to kind of work, but obviously moving forward, a 5 minute kind of test would be beneficial. But for the most part, audio was pretty good. All right. The one thing that was pretty bad. Also, hope you guys like my notes, by the way. These are my notes. So the one thing that was pretty bad was the frame drops. So if you guys are not familiar with streaming at all, frame drops are where the picture kind of skips, and it's either due to it's mostly due to your upload speed not remaining stable and so on and so forth. I'm a expert at that, so I definitely know how frustrating it is on the streamer side, and now I definitely know how frustrating it is on the viewer side, right? So I don't know what the plan is in place there for future streams. I know Andy talked about again, his new computer so he could stream. Maybe his internet might be a little more stable, might be a little bit better. So maybe they kind of switch around who's actually going to be doing the streaming. So that's always a possibility. If not, then hopefully Phil. If Phil's going to be kind of the one streaming and leading the charge, maybe I don't know if this is even possible. He can get an internet upgrade. Because one of the things also, it wasn't just the frame drops, it was like a confetti too. So for people who don't know, when you're streaming, you provide an upload speed, right? So your upload speed is how much data that's being sent. Now, for example, if you're picking a higher resolution, that's more information that's got to be sent. But if you only have a small upload speed, sacrifices are going to be made when it comes to your video quality, right? So there are times when if you're playing a fast-paced game, you do need more data to transmit that because there's just more going on. There's more rendering and encoding going on, and so there was definitely times when they started kind of fighting and kind of doing their thing that it just literally looked like confetti on my screen. So I know like these guys aren't professional broadcasters. I understand that. But I definitely think if you're gonna do dev streams, at least try to have like a stable kind of picture in both respects, with when it's frame drops and when it's you don't want confetti on your screen. But I mean, obviously as they get more comfortable, they got to figure out who's actually going to be doing this. If Andy's going to be doing this moving forward, then maybe his internet's just a bit better. So that's just my opinion. It definitely is tough. Streaming is one of those things that, in theory, it's easy, right? You download a program, you connect your game, capture card, whatever. There is a little bit of a little bit of things going on where you need like a solid internet connection. You need decent upload speed, and the thing about upload speed is that it's not one of the things like major ISPs kind of prioritize, right? Everyone, for the most part, prioritizes download speed, right? Download your shows, download your games, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. So it's definitely one of those things that's a little tough, and I totally understand that not everyone's gonna have great upload speeds. Not everyone is thinking about that, right? Like, not everyone was thinking, oh, I gotta stream from home, like so. It's not the end of the world, but if that's something they can kind of figure out internally, who's going to be streaming, okay, what's your upload speed, okay, like can we work around this somehow, can someone else do it, like so we'll kind of see how it goes. I don't know how often they're going to be doing these streams anyways. I think they said every week, and it'd be interesting to see if they really keep that schedule. I'd be totally tickle pink if they kept that schedule, because it'd be a nice little way to kind of end the week for them, and kind of throw their play base off into the weekend, saying, hey guys, let's have a fun stream. All right, we'll kind of talk to you guys on the weekend, but mostly on Monday. Have a good weekend. This was a fun stream. See you later, kind of thing, right? So if they do it every week, that'd be really cool. We'll kind of have to see how that goes, right? And the last thing I really want to talk about was the friend request. The friend request, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was an agitator in this too. I definitely sent a friend request to Phil and Andy. Um, but it definitely was a situation where friend request, friend request, friend request, message, friend request, right? And if they could figure that out for next time, I think it's just disabling the notification, right? Um, if they could figure that out for next time, that'd be really good. Just so we don't have to sit there and hear the noise over and over and over again. Um, so hopefully, they figure that out. But all in all, I'm gonna say it. The stream was fine. It was a good stream. They didn't really answer a lot. We'll talk about a little bit of kind of the stuff they talked about, just some highlights here. But from a technical level, I thought the stream was a good kind of starting point. The frame drops were pretty bad, but it never really truly broke. There was no true disconnecting. It all kind of seemed pretty good. Now it's all about refining it, right? Figuring out the issues, refining. The one thing I will say too, I don't know if anyone at Crystal Dynamics watches these videos. If they do, hey, one of the things I will say as a broadcaster myself and a streamer myself, if you're looking at kind of doing, like I know Andy talked about putting people on a list so you can just invite from a list. Honestly, if you're looking to do something like that, there's lots of good chatbots out there that you can do raffles. But also you have to kind of take into account someone may sign up for a raffle and then you go, hey man, like what's your PlayStation? They're like, I'm actually on Xbox. You know what I mean? So there are certain things you can do in chat to make it easier. Oh yes, please. Moderators. That chat was wild at times, man. I don't know, like if they can't add moderators to their Twitch chat, but holy crap, guys, like it was wild, man. Moderators can totally make a chat so much better. So please, I don't know what it would take for you guys to add moderators. I don't know if you need like people from Crystal Dynamics to sit in the chat, or if you need trusted community members that sit in the chat. But let me tell you, man, sometimes like if you don't have moderators, then like your chat is just brutal. And for the most part, it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was the worst chat I've ever seen on Twitch. It certainly wasn't, but it definitely helps out with the spam. It definitely helps out with the repeating questions. It definitely helps out with the rude comments, because there were a few rude comments in there. And you just don't have to have that, right? Spend some time, figure out the moderation team that you want for your Twitch channel, and move forward with it. That's kind of it right there. So, but all in all, it was a fun stream. I would like to see more of them. And unfortunately, when we're gonna start talking about kind of the stuff they talked about and high level overviews, so on and so forth. Um, a stream like this, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't expect them to talk about anything too in depth right now. Roadmap, new content, so on and so forth. We do know there's a war table coming in November. Who knows when? They didn't even answer that. Someone asked when's the war table, and the response was stay tuned to our socials. I mean, it just feels like their hands are so tied by the Marvel bounds that they can't really say anything right now. If they can't even announce a war table that's going to take place in the next 1 to 4 weeks, you know what I mean, guys? So I kind of go into these with the expectation of they can't really say much, but it's more for fun. This isn't like we shouldn't go into these expecting like the biggest news. Go into these expecting, you're going to meet the devs a little bit. They're going to be a little more human. You can kind of ask some questions and kind of, get their thoughts on the game or certain things going on. It's a good way to kind of just create rapport. But yeah, I did go into these being like, oh my god, where's my news? Why don't you guys say this, say that? Da, da, da. No, like it's just one of those things where it's just a little bit of fun. But with that being said, let's talk about some of the things that were mentioned. So They did mention that they want multiple new villains, or sorry, they did mention that there are multiple new villains in development right now. And I believe the idea is that these aren't always just going to be tied to character releases. So there could be villains that just are a part of a content patch that isn't a part of a hero release, but every new hero will have a villain attached to them. So personally, the one I would want is the Red Skull. I think the Red Skull could be a very cool fight. I just whatever else you add, right? Whether you add Bullseye or whoever the heck else you add, I just want the Red Skull. So Crystal Dynamics, please. I will literally spend more money on the game if you give me the Red Skull. Okay, you just listen. My DMs are open. You just come, hit me with a number. All right, I'll put it into the game, and you know, just and then just tell me Red Skull's coming. It's fine. I won't leak it. I'll sign an NDA. It's totally cool. You know, just I think a Red Skull could be a super cool addition to the game. I think he's one of the coolest villains ever. Obviously, he's a Captain America villain, and I think he's one of the ones where if even if you do have a storyline planned for him, I think you can still add him in early, right? Um, I think he would be cool. The Mandarin would be cool. God, I mean, when I think about these guys, I just go back to Marvel Heroes and think about all the villains that we would fight. You know, obviously it's a little bit different. There's more that goes into it in Avengers than what would go into Marvel Heroes, for example. But I definitely would definitely want Red Skull. So one of the things I can't remember them talking about on top of like new villains, I can't remember if they talked about moving like Modoc and Monica to villain sectors in the stream. I know they've talked about it before and they've made comments about, oh, we're going to look into this. We know the community wants this, but I can't remember if they actually talked about it in the stream. But I think it's this would be good in addition to this. So like, you know, maybe I think in an ideal world, if they're gonna release villains separately of like hero releases, I think one of the greatest things they could do for a patch is like a minor villain, right? So just a totally minor villain, but also they move Modoc and Monica to villain sectors, so that'd be 3 new villains in one patch. I think something like that would really like I think the community would respond very well to something like that. Even if it's a content patch where you're like, okay guys, Modoc and Monica are villain sectors now, like, you know, good luck, have fun. Like, you know, I think even that would be good enough. But if you tie these two with a new villain in one patch, I think the community would be like, whoa, wait a second, like what is going on, you know? I definitely think sooner rather than later we're gonna see Modoc and Monica to villain sectors. But I would like to see it kind of in conjunction with a new villain being added to the game. And I think that would be really freaking cool. So hopefully sometime soon we'll see kind of that added. Hopefully, because I think everyone is kind of feeling the same drain, you know? Taskmaster, Abomination, Warbot, you know, like you know, when you only have 4 things to kill, it's just like, you know, you're kind of looking for a little bit more, right? And I think over time, like eventually it's going to be to a point where like, you know, you may not see Abomination or Taskmaster for a week, which I think that'd be really good. So hopefully sometime soon we get, you know, kind of this, and then we get one of these. Yeah, hopefully. So what they also talked about, just keeping up with the villains theme here, is that bosses, not boxes, bosses will have complexity to them moving forward with a slight jump in difficulty in the cloning labs. So it sounds like, you know, if bosses are here, cloning labs is going to take them up a bit in terms of the complexity and the difficulty, but ideally they want to go up even further. Which would be really, really good because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes Abomination just stands there and he just takes it, man. He just like, yeah, hit me. And I'm like, okay, sure. You know, and I just think right now it's like, okay, he jumps, you know, for Abomination specifically, it's like, oh, he picks up the floor. Oh, he drops the floor. Oh, he's charging, dodge. Oh, he's jumping, back away, dodge. Right? Like, there's not really a lot to it. Or it's like, oh, he, you know, trash mob spawn. You know, it's like, it's okay, but it's like okay for like a very daily kind of mission right now at the start of the game, but I would like to see a little more complexity added. You know, whether it's like different mechanics or there's like force fields or something you got to disable. Like, there's things that they can do to add a little bit of complexity to these missions moving forward without, making it unfair. So I'd be interested to see what the slight jump is going to be in cloning labs, because it looks like cloning labs, based on what they said about testing, that I think they said testing is going on this weekend. So it looks like cloning labs could be very soon. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of complexity with a slight jump in difficulty. What does that difficulty entail? Is that mechanical difficulty? Is that the the villains themselves are going to be a little tougher? Be interesting to see. I'm super excited for the cloning labs, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a raid layer, I call it. I don't call it a full blown raid. I think it's going to be in the style of a raid, but not to the full depth of a raid. One of the things that was interesting too, when we talk about raids, Phil actually mentioned that he would like to see raids be 6 people, and I think that's a really great idea. When you talk about raids, obviously the big one is Destiny 2, but Division 2 actually has some really cool raids too. If you guys haven't played Division 2, their raids are really cool, and I would highly, highly suggest playing those raids. And one of the things is like, when you have more people, you can split off into 2 groups. Each group has a mechanic to do. There's just more involved rather than just 4 people, for example. But obviously, with 4 people, there's a little more personal responsibility to like stuff you do. But I would like to see 6 people. I think there could be more involved in the mechanic side of it if 6 people are involved. So I think if Phil gets his way and the raids do have 6 people, I think that could be a really big benefit here. So Phil, if you ever see this, 6 people, please. Like, I think you're onto something there, man. Like 100%. You're definitely onto something when it comes to raids and 6 people. So do what you have to do. Fight as many people as you can. I would really like to see 6 people for raids. And obviously the raid's gonna be Wakanda, so I think by then we'll have, our 6 heroes: Kate, Clint, Black Panther. So that puts us at 9 characters. So there should be enough there for people to kind of play, maybe their first or second, character that they like. And as more characters get added, I don't think there shouldn't be an issue with players being like, I want to play this one or this one. Like, it should work out with 6 people by the time we're talking and playing raids. So I don't think the character selection will hold that back. So hopefully the cloning labs are coming soon with some testing going on, and hopefully raids are 6 people. I will fight anybody who says don't do it. I will fight you guys in the comments down below. If you say don't do 6 people, get ready, man. Stick your hands up, and we're going a few rounds, 100%. So the last thing I have here, well, sorry, I will say the last thing because this is going to be very quick. The last thing, someone kept asking about, and I think we've seen this before in like the Q&A, if I believe correctly, about events and, why is there no Halloween event? Are we going to get like a Christmas event? Stuff like that. And, they were very kind of, upfront about, obviously the bug fixes and stuff like that took a sheer amount of not only time but work power, in a bunch of people away from new content. So you don't get things like events. You don't get things that are like the fun side of the game, unfortunately, because they have to make sure the game is playable on like a very basic level, right? So I would have liked to see a Halloween event, Halloween skins, so on and so forth, but unfortunately we didn't get it. So kind of the one thing I hope for is that we do get like a Christmas event, with some Christmas skins and stuff like that. I don't know if we will. They do talk about new skins being in development for all the characters right now, but are those Christmas skins? Are those MCU skins, which they've said maybe to, like, maybe, what would a Christmas event or a holiday event, sorry, even look like in Avengers? I don't know that answer. I think there's could be some cool things. If you add snow to the ground, in some missions, maybe some like holiday decor in the cities. Like, I think there's stuff they could do. But I think that stuff would definitely require some manpower, some time, some effort. Um, so hopefully, they get the game in a good state, and that's why I keep saying all these patches that come out, and they're not sexy patches. They definitely help them kind of move on to like new content, new events, new everything, right? When you're not bug testing, you're not bug fixing, you're able to put out new content. You're able to kind of move your pipeline forward a little bit. So hopefully, kind of moving forward, we get, obviously the not so sexy patches, but hopefully that kind of frees up the workforce so we can get the sexy patches. We get the new content, we get the fun stuff that other games do. Because yeah, with obviously, when you play a game as a service, I don't know, like for me, I kind of expect like Halloween skins, Halloween event. If Anthem gets Halloween skins, why doesn't my Avengers game get Halloween skins, right? So it sucks. But hopefully, kind of moving forward, we do get some Halloween stuff, some Christmas stuff, some holiday stuff, Valentine stuff, maybe. You know, I like that stuff. Maybe I'm a sucker for it, but I like when the game kind of has a little bit of character in terms of like events and stuff like that, because it definitely adds a little bit of like I don't want to say like human, like it just adds to the game, the world that the building. If I know that like there's skins coming and there's like different challenges coming based around a holiday, it's a fun little thing to do. It adds something a little bit different. And I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff, man. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a sucker for skins. I'm a sucker for like in-game events. I'm just a sucker. So, and if you guys know me by now, and if you watched my stream at any point, you guys would know I'm a sucker. So, it just follows into that kind of pattern. So, hopefully we see holiday events. If not, maybe something in 2021 would be kind of nice. But it's just a matter of it feels like they're playing catch up a little bit with all the bugs and stuff going on. So we don't really get stuff like that. So hopefully sometime soon we'll get some sort of fun stuff, and the game could start feeling like a live service game where things are continually updated, things are continually added instead of kind of what we have now. But we'll kind of have to just wait and see, right? I think one of the things I've been stressing to people is that we're in a wait and see pattern. There's not really not much we can do as players other than wait and see. And this is just one of those things where wait and see, the last thing. All right. Where do I even begin with this one? So for the people who don't know me, right? Say for example, you just know me through the Assemble channel. You don't really know me through my stream or like my history of video games. I am a PvP guy. I love PvP. I think I grew up playing SOCOM 2 when I was a young lad, as I say. So PvP is kind of in my blood. And I thought I was of the opinion, and I still kind of am, that when you have a game that has a content drought, one of the ways you can save it is with PvP, right? As long as, well, there's a few ways to kind of quantify this. So PvP enables you to kind of have a little bit of a leeway and a fallback, because PvP not necessarily needs the content updates as fast as PvE does, for example. PvP, if you launch with a certain amount of maps, certain amount of things, you can kind of get away. And we've seen it before with, PvP stuff comes every 3 months, every 4 months. So, and I think PvP just helps, like, oh shit, we have to do bug fixes. There's no new PvE content. Okay, well, players have PvP. There's a little bit more involved with that. And that's just my opinion. I know some of you guys may think it's totally wrong. Totally get that. I just think, PvP could definitely help in a situation where it's taking a little bit long, because it definitely is something that is a little more dynamic comparatively to PvE, right? So I think when you have something a little more dynamic, and maybe I'm explaining this very terribly, but when you have something a little more dynamic, even though you're playing on like the same map, like situations change, who you're playing against changes, maybe their build changes. So there's a little bit more going on, so keep things fresh. Whereas with PvE, if you're playing the same mission 10 times in a row, it's the same mission 10 times in a row, right? So I mean, obviously I didn't think PvP was coming at all in this game. I mean, I think everyone knew that, but they definitely confirmed that there's no PvP coming. Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think we're ever gonna get PvP in this game. I think this is a game where they'll just kind of ride the PvE train all the way through, and that's totally fine. Um, I just think I think personally, if we were in a world where PvP existed and it wasn't broken, it was pretty balanced. Um, it would give it would give people a little more something that's dynamic, and it definitely would add to the longevity of the game. But hey, I mean, that's a world we don't live in, right? This is the world we live in. So no PvP, guys, unfortunately, for you guys who would like to see like a PvP implementation, including myself, because I'm a PvP addict. Unfortunately, we won't be getting any of that. So it is what it is, there's not much we can do about it. We just kind of have to move forward with our hearts broken. Yeah, so with that being said, guys, I think, if I was to sum up the stream, if you guys didn't watch the stream at all, I would say if you guys go to the next one next week and you don't know what to expect lots of craziness in the chat. Expect them not really answering the hard-hitting questions, but expect a little human, like a human kind of conversation from them. They're definitely there to kind of chit chat with, and hopefully the quality of the stream gets a little bit better. Once again, like I'm an expert on frame drops and mic levels being crap. It's what I specialize in. So yeah, I mean, it was just a fun time, guys. So I think that's it. You know, for this late night overnight edition of Assemble, I have to be at work at 6 a.m. It's currently 1:17. Um, my sleep schedule is crap. It's so crap, guys. You guys have no idea. But I digress. So here we go with the outro. All right, let's do this. One shot, baby. One shot. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what kind of other content you guys want to do or want me to do. I've had people ask me to do like the daily stuff like there. So like, I do a lot of Avengers content on my Twitch. So I do like a lot of like daily stuff. I do the Mega Hive stuff on my Twitch. I'm like leveling my Black Widow and my Thor on my Twitch, and it's very tough for me to kind of take that content and then translate it to Assemble. Simply because I don't want to give you guys. I don't want to rip up my stream and just upload it to the Assemble channel. I don't think that's good. I like coming on here talking to the camera, giving you guys more unique content than rather just my stream. I do, like I said, I've been talking about this for the last few weeks now. I am recording like a community voices show. So I'm going to be bringing on people from the community who love to talk about the game, and that's going to be a very unique kind of thing. And that's going to be this week, Thursday or Friday. Um, so if there's other types of videos you guys want me to do, please let me know. I've had people reach out and they're like, "Are you gonna cover Miles Morales?" And the thing about that is, it's not a live service game. It's not like an online game. So if I was gonna cover that, I would literally cover that up until like the 12th, and then after the 12th, I'd have to wait and see until like DLC comes out, right? So it's not really a game that I don't want to say worth covering, but it's not a game that I can do continual coverage of. You know what I mean? Like it just ends at the 12th, and then I'm gonna stream it on Twitch. So it just doesn't seem like something I'm gonna cover. I think for the most part, this channel is gonna be dedicated to Avengers. I don't really see myself using this channel to kind of springboard into another game, unless it's like another super good Avengers game. But there's nothing like that coming right now. So I think in terms of like branching off into different games, I think I'm not going to do that. But if you guys have ideas for videos you want me to do, if you guys want me to do like a Q&A every week, I'm just a dude who plays video games and covers the game. I don't really have the amount of like in-game technical knowledge that, some people may have. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't do build videos. I don't like I'm definitely not like a here's like the best build for your guy. Like I'm gonna let those guys who are like really good with numbers do that. I'm gonna kind of give my opinion. I'm gonna give you guys the news, kind of thing. So with that in mind, if you guys have any ideas, throw them down in the comments below. I'm super open to any ideas you guys can give me. Yeah, just I've had some people, ask me if I'm gonna do something, and it's just so hard trying to balance like my Twitch content and like my YouTube content. I want to give you guys the most unique content I can. I want to give you guys like, you know, like I said the other video, I respect my audience way too much to kind of just rip content from my Twitch and give it to you guys. So yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, once again, let me know, and we'll kind of move forward from there. If you guys are interested in definitely hanging out on my Twitch, it is a different beast, man. I'm gonna tell you guys, my Twitch is very trolly. So with that being said, if you guys are interested in hanging out with my Twitch chat and my community, you can go to twitch.tv/highruler, and you can come hang out there. I'm usually live mostly almost every night. My sleep schedule is kind of fucked, so probably not tonight. If you guys are interested in joining my community, you can go to highrulertv.com/discord. All the links will be in the description below. If you guys need one, if I didn't say it clearly enough, it'll be down there below. Whew. And with that being said, I'm gonna go try and get this uploaded for you guys before I have to go to work this morning. So if you guys see this video and it got uploaded at like 5 a.m., we're on one, dude. We're on one. So that being said, guys, I'm gonna go get this taken care of. I hope to see you guys very soon in the next video that's not at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whenever this gets uploaded back to a normal time. Okay, hopefully soon. But I love you guys. Stay safe, take care of each other, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.